Hi guys, it's Celeste here, and today I'm going to show you how to make 3D snowflakes. And they're very easy and very cheap to do, and they're a great way for decorating your home or for your Christmas party this holiday season, and a lot of fun and something that you could do with the kids as well. I made some of these today and I posted the pictures on my Facebook, and so many of my friends said, oh, how did you make that? And so one of them suggested that I do a video. So I guess this is a tutorial on how to make 3D snowflakes. Traditionally, we are used to seeing 2D snowflakes, and this is an example of a 2D. And you could make it a bit 3D if you made the right shapes and folded back bits of paper, like so. But I still think that the 3D one is a lot nicer. And for the same amount of work, you get quite and the same amount of paper you use, you get quite a much more amazing effect. Okay, so to get started, it's quite simple. All you need is a sheet of either A3 or A4 paper. But we're going to use A3 paper today. And just to show you the size of the star that or the snowflake that you will get from an A3 piece of paper, it's about that size. So from point to point, it's the depth of A3 piece of paper, or the height from what you can see in this video. For an A4, it's about half the size. For an A4 piece of paper. So I'm going to try and show you this video in stages because the first video I tried to make took too long. So I guess the very first step that you use to make the snowflake is to fold your piece of paper into a concertina fold, and taking the short side of the paper and folding it to the other short side of the paper, and really try and get it as accurately as you can from end to end. And the best way I found to do that is you just keep folding it in half and half again, and not using too many of the folds to fold over. And what you get is quite an accurate concertina fold, but you can fold it any way you think is best. This is just what works for me. And just keep folding until you get a concertina. And you're going to keep folding it until you get about this size. And I've just pre-folded this one to make it a lot easier for you to see what I'm going to do. Now once you've got it to this size, you're going to find its middle, and you're going to need either a pen, or you can just fold it in half, like so. And find the middle, and you're going to cut away a small triangle on each of the ends of that center. So right in there, just cut away a small triangle. Again on the other side. Until you get something like that. And you're going to take a piece of white string or fishing wire, whatever you want to use, and make sure it's at least the length of your snowflake, and with your scissors you're just going to cut a piece of that and do a double knot in the middle. And so here's one that I've just done earlier. So what you're going to do from here is you're going to make some cuts, and using a very sharp pair of scissors, start making your cuts from edge to center. And I like to do curvy cuts because I think it gives a better effect and better shape, and you can do a lot more when you're you know, working with the paper after you've made your cuts. And always work with one side and follow with the other. Okay. And you can continue to make cuts that are interesting, like this one. You can make the same kind of cut but going the opposite way, and that'll give you a nice flip flap bit to work with. But never ever cut all the way to the edge, and always try and leave space even when you're making smaller cuts. Like I can make smaller cuts on the edge, like a small triangle or a love heart, whatever you want. You could even just do like squares or rectangles. It all works very well. And you just do that on the other side as well. So copying it over. So once you've done that, you might end up with something like this. So it's symmetrical. And from here, this is the fun part. You just start unraveling it bit by bit. And as you can see, you've got quite a intricate little snowflake. Well, actually it's not that little. And you need to be a little bit light-handed when working with this because it can tear, and it is just paper. So, but if you do tear it, that's fine. You just stick it back with some Scotch tape and or start again. Doesn't really matter. So what I like to do is I like to stick one end together first, and I try and work with the sides that are supposed to be stuck together, but because obviously it's a meeting of two ends, just get a bit of our tape. It's not going to always meet exactly where your cut was, but that doesn't matter because you won't even notice it. And little bits of sticky tape just on the bits where it's supposed to meet is good. Don't go sticking the sticky tape right across it, otherwise the bits where you want to fold may not be able to. May not be able to fold it. Just two more bits here. Small ones. Okay, great. And then the other side. And just one more. Okay, so that's what you will end up with initially. And that's already pretty good in terms of a 3D snowflake. You could leave it like that. All you probably want to do is just stick the string down closer to the actual snowflake so it doesn't hang on its side. Or you can work with some of the cuts that you've made, and because we've actually got about 2 extra cuts here, we can make some further 3D effects. So you've got the point of the star in a mountain fold. You want to probably try and work with this inner dent here, inner cut, and flip that over. Just using your finger to flip it over. And just work with one at a time. Just by poking your finger through, flatten it with your finger underneath first, and then poke it through and fold it back. And you could also do this using coloured paper or like bright paper. It's all up to you in terms of how you want to do it. But I like white because it just gives you that real Christmas feel. So that's the effect you get when you fold that piece of paper. But we've also got more cutouts that we could work with, and really it just all depends on how you cut your paper. I mean, you know, what you end up with, you just don't know, and just depends on what you get. So this particular cut we made, we got another cut here that we could use right in the center. So we could flip that back too. Flip that back, flip that back, and working with each one, all you're really doing is you're just pushing the paper through the hole that you've already made for it. And you'll start to see a bit of a rosette happening with each one that you flip over. And as you can see, I mean, it just depends on how intricate you want to make it. This one is probably a more intricate one than some of the other ones that we've made in the past. But I think that's what makes it a lot more unique and fun. It's looking at what you end up with in the end. And sometimes the closer you make the cuts, the more detailed and delicate the snowflake will end up looking like. And also depends on how complicated you want to make it. So that's it. That is just a bit of sticky tape here for the string, so it's not loose. Let's find its end here. See? And there you have your snowflake. And some examples of other snowflakes we've done. And here's one that we just used, using cement, like triangles and squares. And it's got a bit of a different tip. You could also layer them on top of each other